do this next interview because the last interview I sounded like a chipmunk. I think it was on their end. I think, honestly, I don't know, but it was the greatest interview I've ever done. I felt like I was Chip or Dale. I was at least one of the rescue rangers. But we are going to go to our next guest who joins us live. DW, how are you, sir?
All right, man. How are you?
Oh,
how are
thank
you
God you don't sound like a chipmunk. I literally just did an interview with a group that I think on their end they had manipulated the voices to where they would sound like chipmunks. And so what I did is I asked all my questions. I don't know what they were saying. They sounded like chipmunks. It was Charlie Brown's teacher, something. Actually, Charlie Brown's teacher. You could tell a little bit more. You can at least understand what the homework assignment is that she's giving to people. These guys, I couldn't understand anything. So I did all my questions. I did the tell us how we get a hold of you online. And they were like, Instagram. So I'm glad that you're halfway normal. I'm halfway normal. We're good. So what is going on with you, my friend? How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on, man. I just was over in Knoxville playing a little live radio show this last week, I guess.
Yes.
That was cool. And going into the studio actually this coming week to lay down a couple new tracks. They won't be out for a while, but still pushing this album Coyote, man. Trying to book a few more dates to get out and support that.
So tell me a little bit about this new album and everything that you're putting together, have put together, and the whole nine yards.
Yeah, so it kind of came about incidentally, to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't actually trying. I hadn't set out to do an album. I've been here in Nashville for quite a few years, about 15, 17 years, something like that. Been writing and pitching to Music Row, and honestly just kind of running into that brick wall. And then the pandemic hit, and I started writing some songs that I was really liking a lot, but didn't think they'd be strong pitches for commercial country. And so I started singing them myself in the studio. And, after a few months of that, I thought, I might have an album on my hands. And so then I started applying a little more emphasis on trying to write to fill out an album. And we came up with songs like A Buck 10 and Hey Y'all and Coyote that kind of rounded the thing out. And, it's been a real cool experience. Put together a little indie label with a friend of mine. We put the thing out, trying to promote it. And so far, so good. I appreciate you having me on to talk about it a little bit.
Yes. So how did you get started doing the music thing?
Man, I've been doing it for about as long as I can remember. If you want to go way back, when I was a kid, the house I lived in, we didn't have central air conditioning for a few years. We just had window units. One of the window units, I'm talking I was a real little kid. We just had a window unit in my parents' bedroom. And they had put a little cot down at the end of their bed for me to sleep in. And I'd lay awake in the middle of the night humming songs. And making up melodies in my head as a 5-6-year-old kid, just, humming these little songs to myself. So on some level, I've been doing it as long as I can remember. I started taking the actual writing seriously, probably sometime out of college. Yeah, I was in one of those college bands, and we were jerking around, like college guys.
We were jerking around.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
So you know how it is, man. You play a song, you drink a beer, you think you're rocking and rolling, and you're going to be the next big thing, and you really just kind of suck. But
there are so many bands that realistically, my friend, you just laid it all out for everybody. They're jerking around.
Yeah. So went through that stage, and then started taking the writing seriously. Started playing the writers' nights. I was actually living in Northern Virginia, outside of D.C. at the time. It's where I grew up. Started playing the writers' nights. Started playing some open mics. Started playing a few small gigs back in that area. And then at some point, I thought, I'm going to make the move to Nashville. So, like I said, came down here in the early 2000s and been here ever since. And it's been a great growth as a writer. You get here and you think you're going to write a hit song right out of the blocks, that you're going to be the next big thing, or you're going to take the town by storm. Well, like I said a minute ago, you kind of run into that brick wall. That doesn't happen. So, you try to learn the craft. And I also tried to, as I've done that, I've always tried to find my own voice with it, which is where I've gotten to with Coyote. So it's not me trying to write country songs for, the latest big thing on the contemporary pop radio, country radio. It's me writing for me. So it's a big difference in the style of writing. I feel like some of the country stuff you're hearing, a lot of good music out there, but for me, it's, you got to follow a real template to achieve on country radio. And I kind of decided not to do that deliberately. And so you got Coyote out of that.
That's
or at least
awesome.
I did. I don't know if anybody else did.
So, who are some of your musical heroes and influences?
Oh, man, that's such a great question, because I love all sorts of music. I really do. I mean, I guess it'd be easy for me to say Tom Petty and the Rolling Stones, but if you go back, I love a lot of that 70s stuff. Curtis Mayfield. I mean, you can't overlook Curtis Mayfield and guys like George Clinton, and just the laying down the groove. I loved a lot of the old country, traditional country music. The Merle Haggard and stuff like that back in the day. But, my mother was not really much of a musician, but, there's always kind of music in the house. And you've heard this story before. And, I kind of grew up listening to some old 40s and 50s stuff as well, early 60s stuff. But, going back just to kind of classic pop music, I discovered that. And, like Mills Brothers and acts like that. That people don't talk about anymore, but that's just some classic songcraft, simple stuff, great harmonies, simple lyric, but it kind of hits the mark.
We have got a great guest with us today, joins us live here on our big broadcast. So, how do people find your music, buy your music, all this stuff?
Yeah, I'm on all the platforms. I'm on Apple Music, I'm on Spotify, I'm on SoundCloud, I'm on Pandora, the list goes on. If you go to my website, douglas-wayne.com, that's douglas-wayne.com, we got a link to all that stuff, and you can go and get it there. I've got a couple things up on YouTube that you can watch. Not the most expensive video productions that you'll ever see, but they're pretty cool. And that's, I'm on all the socials as well. Obviously, you're not going to listen to the music there, but I'm trying to develop a presence. I'm really coming out of nowhere on this. It's not like I've been trying to be an artist for the past 10 years. We're really kind of building this from scratch. So, we'll see where it's going to take us.
That's awesome. We have got Douglas Wayne with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. So, what's been some feedback that you've gotten on your music so far?
That's been the best part so far, honestly. I've gotten a few really good reviews, mostly off of the Americana platforms, Music Mecca, Tinnitus. Actually, Tinnitus isn't really strictly Americana. Americana Highways. Just some really good things have been said about the records. They've called it smart. They've called it kick-ass. And those are two things that I really appreciate, right? I don't want to, because if it's not smart and kick-ass, then it's probably just dumbass. And I'm hoping not to.
If it's not smart and kick-ass.
Yeah, so they didn't say, this is dumbass. So I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good, man. But yeah, some really nice reviews. There was a review on Americana Highways, and the lady who wrote that, she just nailed it. It's been real flattering, because you do this stuff, and like I said, I've been down here in Nashville quite a while. I've been writing songs quite a while. I've been pitching songs with modicum of success for quite a while. I like to think I know a good song from a crap song, but when you're doing it yourself, you're writing these songs and you're singing them, you're like, there's always that doubt. I'm going to roll this out. Maybe I think it's good and everybody else is going to think it's garbage. And to roll it out and have people respond to it positively, that's been it's been real rewarding. I mean, because you're rolling that dice, man. You're like, oh, here we go.
Here we go. That's right. So, what do you think of the music scene where you're at right now?
Nashville is a great music scene. There's just a lot of cool places a guy like me can go play, from down here in 5 Points, East Nashville. I played a gig at the 5 Spot a month or so ago. You got a little joint up the road here. It's literally this direction, called D's Country Lounge. A buddy of mine plays there all the time. There's little joints like that. You can kind of jump up and sing a few songs. Got a few smaller venues. Well, those are small venues. Larger than that, but you've got your 200-seat venues that you can get into. A lot of talent here. That's the thing. It's a real challenge as a writer and a musician. If you don't get here and realize that there's just a ton of talent, you're not going to survive real long. For me, I've just had to up my game. That's been kind of the coolest part. I've got a lot of friends who just play circles around me. They're great singers. They're great musicians. So what I've tried to focus on is the writing and develop the writing side of it to the best I can. That's where I feel like I really excel.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. He joins us live here on our big broadcast. So, where do you primarily see when people purchase your music and everything? Where do you primarily see your stuff coming from?
Coming from as far as
are you selling more stuff off your website? Are you selling more stuff off Spotify? Where is your audience?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think right now I should have looked at the numbers. I think right now we're doing pretty good off of Apple more than anything. I've not done a ton off of Spotify, believe it or not. That's a little disappointing. Some issues there maybe with how we rolled the thing out that I probably should have been more savvy about a few months ago. But Apple's doing pretty good. And I think that's probably the main platform where people are finding the music.
That's awesome. We have got a great guest with us today. Joins us live here on our big broadcast. Douglas Wayne is with us. He joins us here on our big program. So, what are some of your, I guess, goals with this music that you've got coming up?
Yeah, I'm hoping to conquer the world, really. I think that, for me, I'd just like to be doing this full time. I know that's kind of a goal of everybody who gets into it. I think that the music is gotten to the point for me where I'm confident enough in it that I can get out and start making a living doing the music. So we're going to know, what does that look like? That looks like, a lot of small gigs and maybe a few big ones here and there. I'm hoping to get out to California in another couple months, play out there. Just grassroots type of approach, really. I've got some time. I've got the wherewithal, to do this thing. So we're gonna pursue it.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to do this. We are going to play some of your music here on the big broadcast, and I just appreciate you making time for us today and coming on and chatting with us, and just thanks for doing this, brother. Thanks for being on and making it happen for us.
Hey, man, pleasure's mine. Thank you for having it. I appreciate the support, as an independent artist. I do.
Well, we're going to go to this track, and thanks for joining us. Thank you, Doug. Have yourself a wonderful day, sir.
Hey, man. You too. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. There he goes. That is our guest, and we are going to go to our track here. It is Hey Y'all. It is Douglas Wayne. And hey y'all, as they say. Hey y'all. And we are going to find I literally just heard somebody in my headphones go, hey y'all. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what is happening here. I'm getting messages on Instagram from people. I don't know why they're getting a hold of me on Instagram.
Hey y'all, how about instead look into the past, you look up ahead. Hey y'all,
Well, the technical issues abound, kids. What a mess. What a damn mess this show has been today. Okay, we're going to take a brief time out. When we come back, we have got more coming up on the other side.